This is TechCrunch.
Prediction market users have made and profited from big bets around the bombing of Iran by the US and Israeli military. According to Bloomberg, on Polymarket, $529 million was traded on contracts tied to the timing of the attack. An analysis by analytics firm Bubble Maps SA found that 6 newly created accounts made a profit of $1 million by correctly betting that the US would strike Iran by February 28th. Behavior that could indicate insider trading. The bets might merely reflect broader speculation about U.S. intentions in Iran, but Bubble Maps CEO Nicholas Vayman said the circulation of information involving war or conflict, coupled with Polymarket's anonymity, can create incentives for informed participants to act early. Back in January, analytics firm Polysites also noted an apparent spike in bets around the likelihood that Iran's now-deceased supreme leader, Ali Khamenei, would no longer hold that role by the end of March. Responding to concerns that such bets might essentially place a financial incentive on assassination, Kalshi CEO Tariq Mansour said, "We don't list markets directly tied to death. When there are markets where potential outcomes involve death, we design the rules to prevent people from profiting from death." He added that Kalshi would reimburse all fees from these bets. Investors have been pouring billions into AI companies over the past few years as the technology continues to hold sway in the valley and thus the world. But not all AI companies are grabbing investor attention. Indeed, even as it seems every company these days is rebranding to include AI in its name, some startup ideas are just no longer in favor with investors. TechCrunch spoke with VCs to learn what investors aren't looking for in AI software as a service startups anymore. According to Aren Holiday, a managing partner at 645 Ventures, popular SaaS categories for investors now include startups building AI-native infrastructure, vertical SaaS with proprietary data, systems of action, and platforms deeply embedded in mission-critical workflows. But he also gave a list of companies that are considered quite boring to investors these days. Startups building thin workflow layers, generic horizontal tools, light product management, and surface-level analytics. Basically, anything an AI agent can now do. Abdul Abdirahman, an investor at the firm F Prime, added that generic vertical software without proprietary data moats is no longer popular, and Igor Ryabenki, a founder and managing partner at Altair Capital, went deeper on that point. He said investors aren't interested in anything, really, that doesn't have much product depth. If your differentiation lives mostly in user interface and automation, that's no longer enough. The barrier to entry has dropped, which makes building a real moat much harder. He added, new companies entering the market now need to build around real workflow ownership and a clear understanding of the problem from day one. Massive code bases are no longer an advantage. What matters more is speed, focus, and the ability to adapt quickly. Pricing also needs to be flexible. Rigid per-seat models will be harder to defend, while consumption-based models make more sense in this environment. Jake Saper, a general partner at Emergence Capital, also had thoughts on ownership. To him, the differences between Cursor and Claude Code are the canary in the coal mine. One owns the developer's workflow, the other just executes the task. Developers are increasingly choosing the execution over process. He said any product dealing with workflow stickiness, meaning trying to attract as many human customers as possible to continuously use the product, might find themselves in an uphill battle as agents take over the workflow. Saper said, pre-Claude, getting humans to do their jobs inside your software was a powerful moat, but if agents are doing the work, who cares about human workflow? He also thinks integrations are becoming less popular, especially as Anthropic's Model Context Protocol makes it easier than ever to connect AI models to external data and systems. This means someone doesn't need to download multiple integrations or build their own customer integrations. They can just use the MCP. Being the connector used to be a moat, soon it will be a utility. Also, no longer en vogue, include the workflow automation and task management tools that enable the coordination of human work become less necessary if, over time, agents just execute the tasks, Abdirahman said, citing examples. mainly public SaaS companies whose stocks are down as new AI native startups arise with better, more efficient technology. Raya Benki said the SaaS companies struggling to raise right now are the ones that can easily be replicated, he said. He said, generic productivity tools, project management software, basic CRM clones, and thin AI wrappers built on top of existing APIs fall into this category. If the product is mostly an interface layer without deep integration, proprietary data, or embedded process knowledge, strong AI native teams can rebuild it quickly. That is what makes investors cautious. Overall, what remains attractive about SaaS is depth and expertise, with tools embedded in critical workflows. He said companies should right now look into integrating AI deeply into their products and update their marketing to reflect that. Raya Benki said that investors are reallocating capital toward businesses that own workflows, data, and domain expertise, and away from products that can be copied without much effort. That's it from TechCrunch. For more stories like these, go to TechCrunch.com.